Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Spaza17. Welcome to the Hitcircle Podcast. And guys, I'm super excited today because I'm talking to a very huge person in the Osu community. He's an ex-Osu top player, Twitch streamer, but he's extremely notorious for being the first one to build an entire community on something that we may see as common nowadays, but it certainly wasn't back then. And I'm talking, of course, about Osu stream highlight videos. And if I say he's built an empire, of course that's gonna be none other than AntoN, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm flattered you're calling me an ex-Osu top player.
Yeah, I mean, maybe back in those days, 8k PP was like high 3 digits, right?
Yeah, I think I was around top 300 at my peak, I think.
Yeah, it's weird you mentioned this because I guess the definition of top player has changed throughout the years, but to me, top 300, that's like, top 300 worldwide is by all definitions a top player, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, yeah.
I mean,
Just
maybe it
feels
was
weird.
Yeah, it was even maybe slightly harder back in the day because we didn't have that many farm maps. So 8k PP, pretty good shit, right?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there wasn't as many, and the maps that we called farm maps back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, when I was at my peak, they are no longer defined as farm maps anymore. I don't think, at least.
Yeah. Were you at your peak in like 2015?
I think somewhere in between 2015 and 2016, yeah, back when I was streaming basically daily on Twitch, or at least like 4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah, I remember I joined, like I actually started playing the game actively back in 2015, so at that time I was probably 5 digit. It's been a long time since I saw you around in the Osu community. How are you doing? First of all, I want to ask about, since you are in Sweden, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
How are you guys handling the whole pandemic stuff? I think now it's pretty much everywhere. People are starting to open up a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. It hasn't been that restricted here in Sweden. It's mostly like big events they are canceled. You can't have. There's like a maximum amount of people that you can have in one area at a time. But other than that, it's not that like restrictive. You can go out and do most things.
Oh, so it's been like that for the last couple of months as well, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, maybe I have another view on it because I'm from Italy, so it's been very extreme over here. But
I'm sure.
Then that's great to know. At least in Sweden, you can still, live normally as much as you possibly can. So for those of you that don't know, this podcast works like this. Now, my YouTube listeners, they complain all the time because I explain this in every podcast. But sorry, I need to do that. First, we're gonna talk about some Osu related stuff. Obviously, then we go into the personal life a bit. Obviously, nothing too exceptional. We are not gonna leak any credit card information, so I'm sorry, you guys. And then my subs can ask their own questions, which I have already. Like my subs can ask AntoN a question and it will be answered 100%. Speaking of which, if you want your questions to be answered before anyone else, you're free to subscribe during this stream and I will get your questions. And last but not least, chat itself can fire their own questions, whether it's to me, to AntoN, or possibly both of us. Those are the funniest ones. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about you because I have got so many things I need to ask you. But first off, I want to start by saying, maybe newer players out there may not necessarily know about the legacy of your channel. And even now, if you go on your channel, there's very few videos. How would you describe yourself?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because a lot of people that watch, my live stream highlight videos, and then for the first time they see me playing, they're usually very surprised, like, "Oh, you play the game?"
Yeah.
It's like Yes, yes, I've been playing for a very long time. But yeah, I definitely I started out playing in I think it was 2014. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think I started out in late 2014. I actually found out about the game through League of Legends. I played a lot of League of Legends at the time,
Oh, that's
and I was
interesting.
watching. Yeah, and I was watching a live streamer called Box. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I
Um,
think so. Yeah.
yeah, and during like his he had very long queue times, and he played Osu during those queue times, and it looked interesting, so I just picked it up, and I immediately got addicted, and I started playing a lot every day.
Yes, that's how we all get into that cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So recently, you've made a bit of a comeback on YouTube, and even though, as I said, many new players may not know exactly about your legacy, it seems like all of your videos have been well received. Do you think people are, were waiting for content like this again on YouTube?
From what it seems, and the comments and the feedback that I've gotten since I did my little comeback a few weeks ago, it seems like people have been missing this sort of content, because from what I've seen back when I was doing my old live stream highlights, there were a lot of other people doing it too. Like I wasn't the only one that was doing it, but nowadays it seems that most people have stopped. So it seems like people really enjoy watching them.
Yeah. As I mentioned in the intro, I guess you're kind of a pioneer when it comes to also stream highlights on YouTube. Maybe, as you mentioned, there were other people who were doing it, but I don't think anyone really had the same impact as you did. Did you have any inspiration in terms of who gave you the idea to make those also specific highlights, or did you just take the idea from, like, I don't know, other games, communities, maybe League of Legends even?
Oh yeah, there was actually one guy. Unfortunately, I can't remember the person's name, but he started doing live stream highlights on Osu, and I think he was the first. And he probably took inspiration from like League of Legends or some other game.
I'm
But
thinking,
he,
oh god, maybe I even know who you're talking about.
yeah,
Risi?
I actually don't remember at all, but that's possible. Yeah,
Risi Zir, I think it was called. But yeah.
yeah. And I mean, you know those Willie's very old videos of like compilations of like
Oh yeah, best of
Kainan.
Keenan. Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the same example we brought up. Yeah, I remember those, but they weren't nearly as they were very specific to top players. I don't think many before you came out. I don't think there were that many Osu stream highlight videos that focused even on smaller channels.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But I definitely took inspiration from this one guy that started doing basically the same concept as me. But then I think he stopped, and I figured I could do a good job making a similar type of content, and I figured it would be fun. So I just started it up, and people really liked it.
Yeah, I think right now we have Gloomshot, which we can talk about later, but I think it's way better if there's an actual human behind it that can pick clips and you can talk to them. So maybe that's the appeal of your channel, especially now in 2020.
Right. Yeah, I didn't actually know about Gloom Shots before I did my comeback. I've gotten a lot of feedback talking about this Gloom Shot guy that I had no idea who it was, but I think I understand now. So some sort of automated system that like makes videos automatically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we can talk about that a bit later because I want to talk about coding and stuff with you because I think you are into it, but that's for later. Right now, I actually wanted to address the elephant in the room. Why have you been away this long time? Because I've done my homework. I still kind of remember what happened back in those days, but according to you, the whole stream highlights format had to be changed due to some YouTube rules that were changed at that time. So according to you, what did these rules exactly entail? And in your opinion, have they been enforced? Because, I mean, there are so many channels that still do the simple stream highlight without necessarily making their own content.
Right. So I didn't understand it fully, but basically my channel got demonetized, and I assumed it was because of the live stream highlights, because I had seen videos from other channels that did similar things saying that they got demonetized. So I figured it was because of them, and you're saying that people still do them, and I feel like if they still do them and it's their main focus of content on their channels, I don't think they are able to monetize them.
Oh, so maybe by doing your own content together, along with those stream highlights, you are able to monetize.
Right, yeah. So I've an example is an Overwatch channel that does the live stream highlights, and he has like this first section of like a minute or two where he basically does whatever and just talks to his viewers, and I know that he is able to monetize his video. So I figured, I mean, I could probably implement the same type of format into my videos.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I've watched your comeback videos, and that's basically what you're doing. I believe in the very first minute you talk about whatever skin you're using.
Yeah, it's not actually the skin that I'm using. I'm basically just, I find a nice looking skin, and then I just show it off to the people. And I obviously I want to look into different things I could do during this first section of the video. But I think for now, just showing off skins is a pretty cool thing that a lot of people find interesting.
I was thinking, since you have to make your own content along with those stream highlights, do you think you could cover that first minute with, for example, some kind of short intro where you explain how to send clips your way, or you can promote your social media, Discord? Does that count as content?
That's actually a good idea. Now that I think about it, I feel like if I just include, the same clip each time in every video where I say the same thing, I don't think that YouTube would like that. But I'm sure it's something that I could,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense because nowadays, I mean, I haven't really followed all that much. I remember back in the day I joined your Discord server because I was just in your community in general, but I don't think like your social stuff and your Discord have been promoted all that much. I don't think I could even find it in the description. So maybe that could help you possibly. I don't know.
I think that's true. I am not very active on social media because I don't really find it appealing, but yeah, you're right. That could probably help a lot.
So, the Gloomshot YouTube channel is basically this YouTube channel which does automatic highlights, like Osu highlights videos, and it's very strange how that thing works because apparently it's supposed to take like there's a certain threshold of views. So if your clip gets like 20 views or something, because it obviously also it's still a very small game in the grand scheme of Twitch, so even by getting 20 views your clip is like eligible to be featured.
Oh, I see.
And apparently after you reach a certain threshold your clip gets picked up and it goes inside this video, but it's actually completely random. Like I have no idea how that works because I have clips of mine with 200 views that haven't been featured. So like I generally just don't get how that thing works, and personally that's why I much prefer the human creation when it comes to stuff like this. But how exactly do you decide which clips or where do you take them? Because back in those days where you had an active community, people would most likely, and I mean that included myself, send you links or clips and you could judge them and decide whether they will be accepted. Nowadays, how do you create an highlight video from scratch?
So what I do is, on Twitch, in the Osu section, you can go to see the top viewed clips from each week. And basically what I do is I look through all the top clips there and just find the ones that look the most interesting, I suppose. And then, like you said before, I also had a lot of people submitting clips to me daily. So that was a huge resource for clips. but a combination of those two, and also looking on YouTube sometimes, just to find cool plays that people has done.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's a cool play done on stream live, there's most certainly a clip, for example, for the very end, so you see the player reaction and all of that.
Exactly.
So right now you're just relying on Twitch, because again, you haven't really promoted your Discord or anything all that much, but maybe you could do that and people will start submitting clips again.
You're right. That is definitely something I should do in the intro of my videos, letting people know that they can start submitting clips again.
Oh yeah, now I can finally submit my clips. Dude, I've been so frustrated recently because, again, as I said, my clips do get a certain amount of views, but no one knows about them outside of my Twitter followers. And, I get people who, for example, say that their audience has expanded thanks to YouTube and thanks to those highlight videos. And back in the day, like when you were active, you helped so many small streamers out. It's insane. And now the same thing is kind of happening with Gloomshot, even though it's a toss-up. Like, you never know whether you're gonna get featured or not. So having an actual person doing that would most likely be beneficial for the community as well, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, one good example of what you just said is Nalian.
Oh yeah, of course.
He has personally come to me a lot of times and thanked me for including him in my videos back in the day, and he said that helped him out a lot. And of course that feels very good when you get feedback of people saying that I helped them out. That feels really good.
Yeah, and Nalia nowadays is kind of a big deal, in terms of Osu. He's making a lot of content. He's been on my podcast too, and yeah, he definitely grew his Twitch a lot.
Yeah, that's really cool to see.
So, as you know, you've been kind of inactive on social media when it comes to Osu, I suppose, but I do follow you, and I know you're doing the 365 coding phase challenge. Can you expand a bit on what that exactly is and what's your experience with coding or perhaps programming?
That challenge specific is you basically just have to do some amount of coding or programming or whatever every day, and you just post a little image of what you've been doing that day, and you're supposed to do that every day for a full year, and then you have a chance at winning prizes and stuff. But I mostly do it just because it pushes me to actually do some coding each day, which is good, I think.
And so what is Osu Easy?
Osu Easy is something that I've started doing recently. It's I don't know if you've heard, but the Poon, he does a lot of coding stuff related to Osu. And he has this coding library, like we call it, basically code that you can reuse, and which makes it really easy to connect to Boncho and the Boncho IRC client, basically the chat client in game, and so that you can write programs to basically execute commands in Boncho and stuff like that.
I didn't know about that. I mean, I knew he was specialized in like Linux setups and helping people out with that, but I didn't know he had a whole coding library.
Yeah, he does actually. It's really well made. He's been working on it for a really long time. So basically my Osu Easy is sort of like a wrapper library that I'm building to make it really easy for people to set up Osu chatbots or whatever. And then somewhere in the future, I'm planning on making some tutorial videos for people, how, like, showing them how they can set up their own chatbot, etc. And doing that through this library that I'm making will make it very accessible for people that aren't that good at coding,
Yeah.
Which I'm expecting a lot of Osu people aren't super familiar with coding,
Yeah. So basically, Osu chatbots, it means like, I mean, there's MateBot, for example, that thing that people use to do 1v1 lobbies. I mean, it's stuff like this that could be incorporated into other aspects of the game, you think? Like, for example, tournament clients, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually part of the team that works on MadeBot.
Oh,
Uh,
I
I
didn't
think
know
it's really
that.
cool. Oh yeah, I'm not actively working on it right now, but I am part of the team,
The-
and so is Willie.
oh yeah, Willie. We talked about MadeBot with Willie. Does this? I mean, this whole. Obviously, I don't speak coding. Okay, so you're free to laugh at this stupid question I'm about to give you. But this kind of library slash coding. Does it only work on the current OSU build, or do you already look at like Laser and try to implement stuff there?
Oh yeah, definitely. So Peppy is updating the API is what it's called from V1 to V2, which basically changes a lot of interactions that you do with code to interact with OSU basically. So I know that, for example, the Poon in his coding library, he will have to update a lot for upcoming changes in Laser, and you can take a look at those changes now to see and prepare for the future.
Ooh, so it's gonna take a lot of work.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Keeping everything up to date is a lot of work.
Are you following the development of Laser?
I'm actually not following that much. I've only tried out like maybe a month old build, but I'm not actively following the development of it.
I think there was some drama recently about slider ends. I don't know if you read about that. Like, Pepe just wanted to enable something that basically when you miss a slider end, you break combo. Almost as if you slide a break, basically. And that
I
caused
didn't
a
know
lot
about
of
that.
drama.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine Twitter going ham about that.
Yeah, it really went ham. And so, if you don't know about this, it really shows me that you don't really use social media that much. Very, very interesting.
I, it happens, but I don't know. I just don't spend that much time on social media. I have a lot of things to do and a lot of other things that I like to spend my time on. But of course, sometimes I read through tweets. But
Yeah,
yeah,
of course. Actually, that's very nice if you have other priorities. But keep it that way, please.
yeah, maybe that's for the better.
So, since you are into coding and programming, what do you think about Gloomshot as a programmer? Like the concept of it, an automated system that basically picks up certain clips and puts them all together.
Yeah, that I find that really fascinating. Actually, I mean, obviously it's not doing the best job at choosing the clips right now, but how it works. And I mean, I don't know how advanced it is. Does it only pick the clips, or does it also edit the video, put the clips together? That seems like if it does that, that's a really cool system.
Yeah, I think it does pick up the clips and then it edits them together and uploads them automatically too.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's actually I find that pretty cool. Obviously, it can be hard with picking the clips, especially because if you go on I'm guessing it's picking them up from Twitch. So
Yeah,
if you
definitely.
yeah if you go on there, there's a lot of duplicates, I guess. Like okay, something cool happens on, let's say, Beast Troll stream, and then 10 people clip that and they all get 50 views or something.
Yes, that's a huge issue with that channel.
Oh, it is.
I
Oh,
see the same
yeah.
clip like 3 times in a video.
Yeah, I can
How do you
imagine.
think that's possible to fix from a coding standpoint?
That's really tough. But I guess what you can do, since you somehow you fetch those videos, and I guess what you could do is, like, on a per video basis, compare each clip against each other. Actually compare pixel values to see if the clips are similar. But that's like it can be really tough, especially since a lot of OSU people use like overlays that are very similar, that cover most of the screen, and making some sort of algorithm that would then check if clips are equal. Maybe those overlays would somehow mess that up and say like, oh yeah, these clips are the same, but they're actually not the same. It's just that someone is using their same overlay in both the clips.
I think something similar happened on YouTube maybe back in 2019, where some people were having issues because YouTube, like the YouTube algorithm, was thinking that people were uploading the same videos over and over again just because everyone used the Rafi skin.
Oh.
So that idea has been experimented with, and I don't think it's worked all that well.
Yeah, that's a really tough issue to solve, definitely.
Yeah, even nowadays, I think if I go on my YouTube copyright thing, because now there's this option where if people re-upload your videos, you can actually strike them. Which, I mean, admittedly, I never really done, because if someone re-uploads my video and it gets like 10 views, who I don't really care. And I can't really do anything about people that re-upload my stuff on Facebook. But then again, even if those videos... Yeah, that's happened actually with some of my old remixes and with some of my tweets. But the thing is... Facebook views are irrelevant because there's autoplay enabled. You can't disable it. So even if a video of mine gets 1 million views, I know it's like maybe if I'm generous, like 200k people actually watched it for more than 1 second, and they weren't just scrolling while taking a shit. So I don't really mind views on Facebook. YouTube is another story, but yeah. It's actually quite fun because, for example, I could copyright strike one Circle People video because it has my skin and I uploaded the play myself. Like that that kind of stuff is very, very strange.
That's really bad.
So what do you think about incorporating stuff like AI? Obviously, that's very advanced, so I'm not quite sure if, it's as easy as one may think it is based on stuff you see online, for example, deep fakes and stuff like that. But do you think like with AI there could be a future, either a PP system or some AI stuff implemented into OSU for like difficulty and stuff? Because that stuff is at the end always subjective.
Right. Well, it's not impossible, definitely not impossible. So since OSU has so much data, like having a huge data set, like a lot of data is definitely important if you're trying to like incorporate AI or machine learning to improve the system. And OSU has so much of that. OSU has so many scores set in their system, so many users, and there's so many, behaviors that an AI algorithm can figure out by using all this data. So if someone actually spends the time in really thinking it through and trying their best to incorporate that into some sort of system, I think it's possible.
That would be amazing. But at the same time, who knows, right? I mean, in the end, it's all... the thing about OSU is that no matter what, it's extremely subjective. Like for example, a map can be hard for me and it can be easy for you and the other way around. So it's always hard to kind of balance a PP system. Speaking of which, there's a new PP system that's in the works right now. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Unfortunately not. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, basically there's this website where you can check your new PP values. It's called the new PP /something. I mean, I will link it in the description for my YouTube viewers. But yeah, it's pretty much being pushed to live, I believe, soon. And
I actually think I've used something like that. Someone sent me a link to something where it like recalculated all my PP scores. It might have been that site that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, most likely, yeah, because that's being called the new PP rebalance. It's not really something as new that's worthy of being called PPv3, but like that's still rebalances, still stuff like that. And I always keep wondering, when's the next thing coming, the big breakthrough? Because back in those days, I think it was Tom98 that developed the whole PP system. And we are still using that base.
Yeah, it's a really old system.
Do you think as a coder, it's kind of bad for a game to grow so much but still have such an old base when it comes to ranking system?
I mean, I guess, but also the task of making a PP system when there's so many different types of maps and so many different skill sets that a player can have, and it's just so diverse. It's really like surely it must be really tough to implement a system that is fair for everyone. And I mean we've seen that it is really tough.
Yeah, I mean, especially now. Maybe back in those days, maps were a bit more um, cookie cutter. You know, like this is
Oh yeah.
an A map, this is a stream map. Nowadays, maps have everything.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about the current? Like, obviously, you, as you said, you are a very busy guy, and you obviously, like, you are not as much of a gamer as you used to be. But do you have an opinion on current top players or like the meta in general? What do you think about the community as a whole? I mean, you
Right.
kind of experience it. Like all of those changes, you kind of see them because you make so many highlight videos. You kind of see what the community is doing, what maps are being played or clipped.
Yeah, definitely. Now, like at the moment, I feel very much out of the loop since I haven't actually properly gotten back into everything. But back then, I when I was making videos every other day, checking clips every day, I was I knew about everything. But right now, I definitely feel a little bit out of the loop. But I mean, it's really cool with. I mean, White Cat is one example that I've obviously seen. I mean, he's an incredible player, and I think it's really cool to see new players getting this good this fast. Even though he's been playing for a while, but his improvements lately have been insane.
Yeah, I mean, White Cat is also a different story because I think he was unbanned a couple of months ago. He was always a kind of an offline player. It was very, it's incredible how much he really took the community by storm when he came back, and now he's easily like top 5 material ever, and most likely
yeah.
right now definitely number 1, no doubt, other than the PP system. Also in terms of skill is shown to be able to do a lot. But yeah, very very interesting stuff. And as I said, newer players may not know about all the old stuff, and you kind of went through also history as well through your highlight videos. You have clips from Cookiesy, Wabofulf, even newer players who were rising up at the time like Nalian. Do you feel like you have witnessed and made history through your videos?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's clear to see like the improvements that everyone makes, like as a community through making videos throughout the years, and you can it's really clear. You can see how much everyone is improving, and obviously when a new player pops up, and there's a lot more clips of this one player, you really notice them really fast.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's so many White Cat clips.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
So I have a very interesting question that I got from one of my friends, not one of my subs, unfortunately, SMH, but he was wondering, how exactly did you come back? Did you? I mean, many people attribute your recent comeback, to Mighty Dog's tweet. And I mean, as much as I believe that played a role, because obviously it's nice to know that people still remember your channel and the legacy you left behind, obviously there will be other motives, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I had been thinking about it for a while, but it was that tweet was actually it had really great timing because during the last couple of months, I'm studying at university right now. I'm actually graduating on Friday.
Oh, damn! Congrats, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, yeah,
I
it's
can
pretty
join
cool.
your Zoom meeting with my suit on.
Yeah, I'll make sure to invite you. But yeah, I've been super busy lately, with my bachelor thesis and all that stuff. But that tweet actually reminded me of like that I wanted to get back, and now that I'm basically done with everything in school, I actually have the time to put in, to make OSU videos again. So I think it's a little mix of both, availability in my schedule plus plus the positive tweets.
Yeah, since you are very good at programming and all of this stuff, and you've been away from video editing for a while, I was actually gonna ask you. I think we talked about enough about OSU. We can dive into some personal stuff because I'm very curious about what exactly you like. I thought you were working, but now you just mentioned you're studying in university, which is even greater because we got another student. And so I'm assuming it's university related to coding and programming.
Yeah, it's called computer science.
Oh yeah.
And basically you get you work as like a software engineer is what they call it when you graduate. But basically what you do is you code, you make programs.
So other than coding, outside of the internet world, what are some of your other hobbies that people may not know about?
I mean, I would say coding is one of my biggest interests, and I do a lot of coding both in school and on my free time. But I mean, other than that, I train at the gym 3 times a week, which is I mean that's very fun. Right now I don't because of Corona.
Oh, you work out?
I do, yeah, I do.
Damn, nice, dude. Do you do weightlifting or body weight?
I do. I guess I do a bit of both. I'm not super serious, not like a super serious, heavyweight lifter. But I still do. I do go to the gym fairly often,
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's gonna be a difference between those who really aspire to become strong, very strong, and stuff like that. I mean, I think I also do the same. Just do it for the physical activity, just because it's a good way to keep yourself in shape and also clear your mind a bit. That's at least how I take the gym, and I'm assuming we're the same.
Yeah, that's a really good explanation of it. Actually, I feel exactly the same, and I mean it's pretty fun too. Once you actually get there, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's actually like I don't know about your experiences in other sports throughout your life. At least when I was a child, I used to do stuff like martial arts, and then I eventually got sick of it and I moved to basketball. And then I did swimming for like 6 years. That was my best. I loved swimming. What's your favorite sport?
Definitely football. Not American football, European football.
Oh, so I guess soccer?
Soccer, yes.
Oh, is that big in Sweden? Because it's huge in Italy.
Oh yeah, I know it's huge in Italy, and I mean, I would say either football or hockey is like the biggest sport in Sweden, definitely.
Oh, hockey is so uncommon over here. I wish I could watch it. It seems very, very interesting. But maybe it's the fascination of not having the sport in my country that makes it that way. Maybe I will get sick of hockey if I saw it every day. I'm not sure.
I think you would. I don't find it that amusing to watch. It's really hard to like when you're actually like at a live game watching. It's really hard to follow the puck, or like it moves so fast and it's so tiny.
Yeah, I mean, the one sport I never understood is baseball. It seems so incredibly boring to watch. What the hell? Yeah, Americans, please explain to me.
I don't understand those sports either.
So your other hobbies other than coding, you like to go to the gym and stuff like that. I mean, that's great, doing physical activity and all of that, keeping yourself in shape. Now with the whole coronavirus, gyms are closed. I think they're starting to open up again though. What's the situation in Sweden when it comes to that?
Oh, hello, I think I disconnected.
Oh yeah, you kind of did.
Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, I was saying, gyms are closed because of the coronavirus, but stuff is starting to open up again. So maybe, how's the situation in Sweden when it comes to gyms now? Because in Italy they are opened, but you have to keep the distance and all of that, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's exactly the same here. I don't think, or some gyms were closed, but I think some gyms have been open now throughout this whole time. But I don't go right now because I just wanna stay safe. But I think they're open right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, right now you're obviously working on your thesis and university stuff, so that makes a lot of sense. When I have normal exams, I can't even be bothered to go outside.
Yeah, that's understandable. What do you study?
Oh, I'm not a computer engineer guy, unfortunately. I'm one of those guys that studies art, but it's
Oh,
not. I mean, okay, I don't want to seem like a hippie or anything. It's actually like technology related art stuff. I guess the degree itself is called the New Art Technologies, but it's basically like video editing, software, that kind of stuff. So, I
oh,
mean, I'm not the kind of guy that just goes to university and paints. I cannot draw, I cannot paint. I just study new, I guess, technology that
right.
can
So
be
like
used for stuff like that.
graphic design,
Yeah, also that,
like that.
I double in that, but I'm
Oh,
not really that good. I mostly go into the video editing aspect of it and Photoshop. I'm learning to use this kind of stuff basically.
right. Well, that's really cool. I think that would be really fun for me too.
Yeah, that I mean, it's fun. I guess the only thing is that I like it's very very hard to get into this kind of world job wise, right? Like
Oh, I
it's
can
kind of hard
imagine.
to be a video editor or stuff like that. It's not exactly that easy, but thanks to the internet, it's actually quite easy to get commissions and stuff like that. So that's how I've been paying my rent.
Right. Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, you have your YouTube channel too.
Oh well, I mean, I can't really call that. Uh, no, I don't get money off my YouTube channel. No, I get like I don't know $2 a month. It's not really. I wouldn't really consider that. I guess my Twitch is more reliable, at least a tiny bit when it comes to that. But
Oh.
since you are in computer engineering, now I'm not sure about um, you know computer engineering in Sweden, how many people do that. But at least in Italy, it's kind of rare, so it's very easy to find a job. Do you have any plans when it comes to a future job related or not related to whatever you're studying?
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. It's fairly popular here in Sweden. A lot of young people are very like, technological, and I think there's a lot of people studying computer science. But at the same time, there are so many jobs related to that too. And I mean, I actually, since I'm graduating on Friday, I've actually been applying to a couple of jobs, and I have a job offer uh, that I'm most likely going to accept. So that's pretty nice, and I don't feel like there's a lot of places that you can apply to, even in. And I live in a semi-small city, not one of the biggest ones here in Sweden, but there's still a lot of tech companies that you can apply to.
Oh yeah. So when you are in a tech company as a computer engineer, what exactly? Like there are so many things you can do. It's kind of hard for me to understand as someone who isn't really in that field. What exactly does a programmer do?
Right. Yeah, as you're saying, there's so many different things you can do. But I mean, just naming a couple of things off the top of my head, there's game programmers, obviously. You can work for like a game studio making games. That's one thing you can do. But a more common thing is sort of like more like a web developer where you make servers, you make databases, and you make some sort of website where your users can interact, and you connect that with the database, and you make these systems. Like every company nowadays has their own website, and a lot of companies also have very complex websites that needs a lot of infrastructure
Oh
and
yeah.
functionality within them, not just a visual just like a visual website that just displays some stuff, but actual functionality that needs a server hooked up to it and stuff like that.
So if we were to work in a company, you take care of this stuff, and I'm the social manager guy that posts. Because I mean, we also learn to do stuff like that, which is very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, yours sounds way more complex, and
I
I think
mean,
there's also stuff about coding related to like security and stuff you can do. I'm not
oh,
quite sure.
absolutely. Yeah, there are lots of software engineers that has puts their, they spend their whole life just working with security, making sure everything is secure, no breaches can be made, no hacks. That's a huge part of software engineering too.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue coding is basically everywhere nowadays. There's no place where you are useless in a way. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but like even in something as simple as, for example, databases in a bank, like, this kind of stuff, you still have to work in order to try and secure all of this data, I'm assuming. And that's where you come and help out.
Oh yeah, obviously, and it's not just like you develop the system and then it's done. It needs to be maintained and it needs to be constantly updated. So like it's not just you spend a year building out this platform and then you're done. Then you move on to like the next big thing. You spend, like, you continue working on that platform. Work on new features, maintain the old ones, make sure everything is just up to date, basically.
Yeah. So this is something I ask every single one of my guests, and it's always very interesting to kind of figure out not only what adults think of the internet world, even the kind of cultural differences between different places like the USA or Italy or anywhere else, really. What do your parents think about at least what you used to do online? I don't think you really are active as much as you were in terms of streaming YouTube, maybe. But what do they think about this whole thing about OSU? Like, do they understand how the game works? Do they understand the concept of streaming and making those highlights?
They don't. My parents are I shouldn't say very old, but they're on the older generation, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So they're not very, highly technological, but they do get my videos and like my live streams back in the day. They don't really understand the gameplay and stuff like that, but they do understand, the whole live streaming concept and uploading videos and stuff like that.
Have they ever been like, what do they think about people that make YouTube or Twitch their actual career and, they turn them into their job? Have they ever toyed with this idea when it comes to you?
Let's see. Not really. I mean, they knew that, back when I made lots of live stream highlights video, I made not a lot of money, obviously, since YouTube does not pay well at all, but
yeah.
I made some money. And I mean, I told them, and they obviously thought that was incredible, how that was even possible, just sitting at home editing your own videos and getting money from that.
Yeah, but so they never really went, but why can't this be your job?
Oh no, they didn't. And I mean, I was very clear with them. This is just like a side thing I do in school. So and I mean, that wasn't my plan either. So I mean, I've told them that I want to do programming. I think that's my dream. So that's what I'm focused on.
Very nice, man. Very nice. I mean, it's great that you. Because many people just toy with the idea of what if I do this full time, but you actually just, even though you were creating content basically every single day and you were working hard, you were also streaming on the side, like there's all the elements necessary, I guess, to try and go full time. You still maintain your mindset of this is just a hobby. I have no intention of doing this full time.
Yeah, I think that's how I think about it. And obviously, if the possibility would come up that I could do it full time, and that's what I really wanted to do, then might as well go for it. But at least at the moment, that's not a goal for me.
Nice. I mean, it's cool, especially because now you are getting your degree, but like, this is a very strange time to come back to YouTube. Especially in your life, as you told me, you are getting your degree soon. You're probably going to have a job soon. So you're basically, the whole thing, like, you have such a passion for the game, and you like to see how people grow thanks to your channel and keeping up with the Osu community on the side, that even though you're gonna be way busier when you have a job, you still came back to YouTube. Do you think you will continue it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's easy to think that, like, oh, when I'll get a programming job, I'll just be doing that and won't have time for anything else. But I think, I mean, I work 40 hours a week, and other than that, I think I will have time to do other things on the side. And YouTube is definitely one of the things that I wanna continue to do for as long as possible, because it is really fun. Even though you have to put in a lot of work, it is fun. It's really fun.
That's great to know, dude. Like, I really enjoy your highlight videos, and I hope we can see them more often. I don't really remember back in the day, how many did you upload each week? Was it weekly or like every other day? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did every other day.
Yeah, right now, obviously, it's a bit slower. It's like weekly, right?
Yeah, that's my plan, to do them weekly now for a while. And then maybe if I get more time, I'll try and do them more often. But back in the day, I wanted to do daily ones, but there was actually like not enough clips to do them daily, so I did them every other day instead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's different nowadays because there's so many players. Gloomshot does manage to do them daily, but as I said, many clips are just random and they don't make any sense, so perhaps it will still be a bit better if you do them every other day in the future. Sorry, every other day? See, that's how you say it in English.
Yeah, every other day. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't just include every clip that has more than 20 views. I try to make my videos like as interesting as possible, and so obviously I don't include every clip that I see. So some has to be filtered out.
Yeah, granted, there are some very underrated streamers, so there can be very good clips even with like 9 views. That's
yes.
But obviously they don't get picked up automatically, I suppose.
Exactly, and the unfortunate thing is that I most likely won't see those either, unless they send it to me personally, because, I mean, obviously if you go on like the weekly Osu clips on Twitch, there is maybe, I'm just gonna take a chance on saying like maybe 500 clips that has above 10 views. There's probably that many, maybe not quite that many, but more than I have time to look through each week.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to promote your Discord and the whole method with submitting clips, I guess, because then Definitely. Basically people that want to get featured can just ask you directly.
That's very true. And I mean, back in the day, I got a lot of good clip submissions, with clips that had 1 view, 2 views. So that's, I would say, absolutely, that's very important.
Including mine. The best ones, the very best.
Yeah, I'm expecting daily clip submissions from you now.
Oh damn! I mean, if only Gloomshot would pick up my clips, man. I mean, not even the ones with 200 views. What am I supposed to do? Damn. Anyways, that thing about what made you come back to YouTube and will you continue was actually a sub question from one of my subs. So now I will read another one from one of my subs. So I'm kind of getting straight to the point. I'm not gonna read the thing specifically, but basically it's asking, since you have been a big YouTuber in the Osu community and the Osu landscape has changed throughout the years, did you ever have any beef with other content creators, like for example Stratosphere, which I think was the owner of oh god, I can't even remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, I recognize that name. I know what you're thinking of.
It's like that Circle People competitor. I don't really remember how it's called anymore. But yeah, did you ever have any beef with other Osu YouTubers or got involved in any drama of that sort?
Let's see. Nothing major, but I think maybe. Let's see. Uh, I can't really think of anything. I feel like I was in some discussion at one point with someone, but honestly, nothing major. And I think the main reason for that is because I try to, stay out of that stuff. And I'm not very active on social media and stuff like that, which might contribute to the fact that I don't really end up in those types of things.
I think maybe when you just started making those highlight videos, I remember this one discussion where, if I recall correctly, and you can correct me on this, of course, maybe you weren't linking the Twitch channels in the very beginning, and people were complaining about that. But then, obviously, you added them to the description.
Oh yes, in the beginning, I didn't really. I feel like I handled this whole thing very badly. Like in the beginning, I didn't have proper permission from everyone that I included in my videos, because I simply didn't think about that was important. But I mean, nowadays I want to give credit to everyone that I include in my videos, and I want to have permission from everyone that I include.
Oh yeah, of course. I think back when you were doing this stuff, it was kind of new in the Osu community. Like there was no such thing as that, like, as actively as you were doing it. So I remember there was some discussion on social media, I think Twitter at least, where it's the usual, this guy is making money off of my clips and blah blah blah, but then eventually you started crediting and everyone just stopped complaining, because in the end this happens to every single game. And
Right.
I mean, it's actual promotion on your channel. It was huge being featured there. You get so many followers, so many new viewers, so people kind of saw the positive the positive effects of it as time went by. But when the very first ones were released, there were very, very many complaints.
Definitely. And I mean, yeah, to this day, still, there's people that don't like the type of content, like the live stream highlight compilations and whatnot. I mean, there will always be people that don't like it, and I understand them. It's not. I mean, that's just how it is. But yeah, as you say, it definitely has its pros, and it's not only beneficial for me, and I get the enjoyment out of it, but it's good for the community as a whole. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I think the community really, like, those videos, as stupid as they are, I mean, conceptually, right? It's only like a compilation of people playing the game, but it's so helpful, especially for people who may not be familiar with the actual game, to find out about other channels outside of, like, the big ones like White Cat, or those ones that really get a lot of average viewers on Twitch. Like, it makes the community grow as a whole. And I know many people that actually watched those videos and started playing the game. So it also
Right.
grows the community to a certain extent.
Yeah. I really don't see the harm in it. I think it helps a lot, like you say.
So what do you think about YouTube nowadays when it comes to their rules and any guidelines that you may possibly get hit with, given your kind of content?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's very unclear. They haven't really stated very clearly, how like the guidelines around live stream highlight videos. But from what I've understood, as long as you include like your own section with your own content, you should be fine. And also, they're saying like if you do other stuff on your channel too, like you don't only do live stream highlight videos, you do other types of content too. Like it's not the only thing you do. That also helps. And I mean, I'm planning to do some coding videos in the future, and I might do, if I ever start streaming also again, I might make some highlight videos of that, and yeah, whatever I can come up with.
Yeah, that would be a very good idea, to kind of mix your content so people also know you are still a good player, Like, I feel like many people, once you create an identity on your YouTube channel, they kind of forget about the other stuff. But obviously, you started out as an Osu player, and then you started doing highlights. Do you feel that people may not know you're necessarily a player or a good player?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, nowadays I'm not that good anymore. I'm super rusty, but yeah, like you say, I mean that's my fault mostly because I don't upload my own plays at all anymore. So I don't blame people for not, knowing
Yeah, but
how
like
good I
back
am
in
at
the
the
day, you
game.
were like a high three digits, you know? It's kind of hard
Yeah,
not to know that this guy is like top 500 making those videos.
yeah, that's true. I mean that's true.
I wonder how, how community perception has changed now that it's so big compared to 2015.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's really hard to know.
All right, so I think I have another question from one of my subs. So let me check it real quick on my phone. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, before this podcast started, I couldn't find it. So very very fun stuff. All right. Um. Uh. This question is actually kind of funny and it kind of pokes fun at circle people, but yeah, I'm gonna ask it regardless. Are you actually gonna come back or are you just gonna pull a circle people and disappear again?
Are circle people not uploading at the moment?
No, I mean, I've been stuffing circle people and yeah, there's just a complete lack of motivation and there needs to be a renewal in stuff in my opinion, but yeah, that's that. Maybe we can talk to Poised on the podcast about that someday, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. You should definitely have him come on here.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, it's basically circle people came back to uploading. Like I think it's already been 1 year or something since they got like we got. I'm gonna say we because back when I was in stuff, this thing was happening and we were reorganizing everything. But basically, we got banned off YouTube for some copyright issues.
Oh.
And during that month, we did our best to revive the channel. And once the channel came back, and I think that was around the time where Vaxay was really popping off, so we started the channel again with a bang. I think with Hitcircle Hit HDDT play.
Oh yes.
And I mean, we uploaded that, channel exploded again, and then it became inactive again because just people stopped uploading. And nowadays it's a dead channel.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like, since there's so many people involved, maybe it's hard for people to actually like how do you say, actually put in the time to help out with the channel, since it's not like, it's not their own channel. It's obviously it's part of the community and it helps everyone, but you might not get as motivated to putting in the work when it's not your own channel.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, but it's also worth noting that there's no compensation whatsoever. Like, it's only volunteer work. You don't get anything out of the monetized videos.
Right,
so maybe,
right.
I mean, as selfish as that can be, at least from my point of view as a broke student, I don't really want to invest my time in working on something that's, that in the end doesn't really help me out in any way.
Right.
Like
yeah.
I've done it for like 1 year, but after that it's like, okay, but there's no future in this.
Right.
One of my subs just came here and I can ask you another question, but sorry, go on.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I guess, I mean, the difference between a channel like mine and a channel like Circle People is, of course, that I am the only one that works on my channel, which I think helps me stay motivated. I mean, obviously, I think it's fun to do the videos, but it's of course it's a lot of work, and you have to have the motivation to do it. Otherwise, it's just gonna be, first of all, it's gonna be bad quality stuff, and you have to want to do it to make good stuff. And I think at least that right now I can manage to stay motivated because it's so much fun.
Yeah, and I guess it's also more of a thing where it's on an individual level, like it's your own channel, you do the stuff, you decide what happens. Meanwhile, Circle People is, as you said, a whole team, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so one of my subs asks, how did you start out uploading? Which I suppose it means, how did you find out about YouTube and all of this stuff? And maybe you can even expand a bit on what was your like the very first content you uploaded on YouTube before Osu came around. Because we all know, we all have our stories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I'm gonna go into like my first YouTube video and stuff like that, it was just I played a lot of League as a kid. I started playing when League came out. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe 2000 and I don't know, 2010 or something. I have no idea. But anyways, I started uploading League videos. Not me like talking, but just random clips of me playing League. And they were really bad quality, shitty. But actually, like my first video ever that I uploaded, which was just a clip of me getting a pentakill, which is called like basically killing the entire enemy team on League. It got 5K views, I think, and I was so excited. And I was like, holy shit, I need to continue pushing out YouTube videos.
Yeah, at that time, when you first start out, even 1K views is a lot.
Yeah, totally. And it's so much fun to just see that number. Like, holy shit, 5,000 people have watched my video. And you have the comments where people are saying stuff. And yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, especially the comments have always been the best part for me, because I'm not really big about numbers. Like, I don't really look at my views and stuff like that, but I read all comments because that's kind of the way you communicate with people and you know what people think about your stuff. So right. Receiving a comment is like, oh shit, what did this guy say?
Yeah, that's really cool. And as you say, a number is a number, but when someone actually makes a comment and you get that feedback, you very much realize that, oh shit, people are actually enjoying the stuff that I'm making. Yeah.
So I guess you started off your YouTube hand in hand with gaming, with League of Legends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I remember I used to upload like FIFA videos.
Oh shit.
Edited with Windows Movie Maker in 240p. Man, I think it was like 2009. Oh god, I was way too young, far too young to actually use a PC, let me tell you that.
But that's funny though.
Yeah,
I mean, looking back at stuff like that, you're glad that you did it, I'm sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm many of my old channels are deleted, so that's very unlucky. Because I would have loved to see my old videos, because I mean, I've always been kind of shy, so I never really showed my face or voice. So it wouldn't even be embarrassing to watch them nowadays. It will just be funny. I think some of my old soccer, which I think it wasn't even FIFA, it was actually PES, which is another basically soccer/football game.
Yeah.
And those videos are probably still up, and they even got a couple of views, but like I'm talking like maybe a couple of thousand, just like you said, 5,000, around that ballpark. And I think one of my older channels got hijacked by some Russian dude. And I remember, at least for I remember I checked one of my old channels once, like 5 years ago, and it was only Russian, but all the videos were still up. So it's just like, why would you do that?
What, like he hacked your account and started uploading his own videos?
Yeah, I think so. He changed the description and all of it was in Russian. But yeah, that was it really. I mean, not that I mind personally, because it wasn't an important email. Nowadays, obviously, I have my email that's not only connected to my YouTube channel, but also to basically all of my stuff, university, Twitch. So right now I'm obviously way more careful, but back in those days, every time I create a new account, I will just create a new email, and I ended up with like 8 emails. So I really didn't care. This Russian guy got it.
And the videos are still up, so I mean, you can still check them out.
Yeah, it's a victory for me. All right, so that about covers my subsection. So now we can take some questions from chat. Even though chat has been kind of slow today, not gonna lie, but it's okay. I mean, I'm used to having like almost 100 viewers average on podcasts, but I guess today was a bit unlucky. But that's okay,
Oh, wow.
It's like how do you say that in English? Like it's the like little people but good. There's like a way of saying it, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But
quality and quantity.
Oh yeah, quality over quantity. Let's go, dude. Ask about League Blacks. I don't know what that is.
League Blacks. That's when I was a kid, and those old League videos. That was my name, my nicknaming game.
League Blacks.
Yep, that was my name.
I mean, that makes sense, dude. I mean, when you're like 10, 12, you always gotta take nicknames like Master of Darkness 39.
Yeah, exactly.
Naruto 1999. League Blacks is actually kind of fine if you compare them to my old usernames, you know?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I've had a bunch of nicknames that are just weird.
Oh, oh my god. This one friend of mine always tells me to ask this on my guests. So, do you prefer ketchup or mayo?
Depends what I'm putting it on.
Let's say fries.
Ketchup 100%.
Ooh, that's the very first person that said that. Everyone just goes with mayo, at least for fries.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because we got influenced by the OSU event in the Netherlands. It's like ketchup doesn't exist, so we ate mayo with everything, including fries. Speaking of which, actually, you're in Sweden. You're not even that far away. Do you think you could possibly come to the next OSU event, or were you planning on going to the 2021? Rest in peace.
Oh no, I wasn't planning on going there. Because I mean, I just figured that. I mean, my plan was to get a job as soon as I graduate from a university, which I do now on Friday. So I think my plan was to just start working. And I was thinking that I'm probably not going to get that much time off immediately when I start working. But I mean, it's possible in the future. If I have the time, it would be cool.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, right now, obviously, you hopefully you will get a job very quickly. I think you already have an offer. So you mentioned it earlier. Yeah. So I mean, it will be very, very hard to do the 2021, but I mean, thankfully for you at least, the 2021 is being cancelled due to COVID-19. So maybe for COE 2021, AntoN for COE 2021 hashtag ? I mean, I would love to see you, dude.
Yeah, it would be fun to meet everyone. There's so many people that you recognize that come there. It seems like a fun experience, definitely.
Yeah, hopefully you can make it, because I mean, Sweden, Netherlands, it's not even that far away for you. So it's mostly expensive due to the event ticket itself, I suppose. So you can think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know like people. Weren't there a bunch of people that went there that live in Sweden?
Oh, sorry, I was reading chat. What did you say?
Last time, like 2019, wasn't there a lot of Swedish people, or at least?
Oh yeah,
people
of course. Like there was so many from the Swedish community. So I'm sure it's gonna be the same, especially for 2021. And actually, Sweden is a very underrated country when it comes to OSU. They are very good players, and they always kind of show that in OWC. So I wonder if the community is expanding a bit. That I don't know about, because I don't follow that too much, and I'm sure you don't either. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah. There are some Swedish new top players out there, so who knows?
Yeah, I've seen that. I had no idea, and then I saw this player called Andros or something. He's ranked 27 right now, the global, which is pretty cool. I've never seen a Swede that highly ranked since Shimox. Do you know the player Shimox?
Yeah, Shimox, of course.
I don't know exactly what rank he was, but he was really high back in the day. And Cytox and a bunch of other players.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Andros, because if I recall correctly, he's like from Mexico. I'm not sure if he moved to Sweden. But regardless, it's still Swedish. Like he lives there, he talks that language, so it makes a lot of sense. I have another question. If YouTube forced you again to stop making the content you want, would you try to make the content fit YouTube's rules or just completely change the content?
Depends. If they make more changes with, the live stream highlight stuff, I've got a feeling like if they make another change, it's the ban hammer. None of that anymore. I don't think they will make any other small, just like modifications to it. So my guess is that you won't be allowed to do it anymore. But that won't make me, quit completely, because it is something that I want to continue doing for as long as possible. So I think I'll just, make the best out of it and figure out, good content that I can make.
All right. I mean, you kind of mentioned this already. You can also make content about coding. Obviously, it's not just OSU related stuff anymore. You are specialized, and in a bit you will get your degree actually in other aspects too. So there's plenty of content to be given out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are some big like coding YouTubers out there with like 1 million subscribers and more. So it's definitely like possible to grow like a pretty big fan base out of making coding videos.
Oh yeah, because coding is so universal. OSU is such a small community. Even other video games, like as you said, League of Legends, have so many people that are dedicated to it, and coding is like it's even bigger than that. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Actually, there's a lot of people nowadays that get into coding not by going to like proper school or university. They actually just single-handedly learn online from like videos, blog posts, and courses and stuff like that, and they get real jobs at tech companies.
Yeah, I think many people do that. Like even if you go to coding school, I'm pretty sure your knowledge doesn't just come from the lessons. Like you have done stuff online yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where you learn the most actually, when you put in free time and learn on your own.
Yeah, that's the same thing for other stuff as well. For example, languages, like as much as you can study in school, nothing is like getting in a community and actually talking, for example, English or speaking English on a daily basis. Like that's how you learn in reality.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you with the art and digital design and stuff. I mean, you obviously do it on your free time, and I'm sure that helps a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, school. I've been video editing for as long as I can remember. So yeah, that's definitely been my thing for a very long time. Though to be honest, I'm still not sure what to do afterwards, because again, being a video editor as a job is very complex. But I still have the plan B. I can just become an art teacher, which is cool. I enjoy that.
I mean, yeah, that could be cool.
All right. Absolutely. So if you guys have any other questions, maybe I can take another one, because it's been almost 1 hour and a half. Quite long podcast, but I enjoyed talking to you, sir.
Oh, wow. It's been 1 hour and a half?
Yeah, it's been quite a long time. Usually my podcasts are like 1 hour long. But yeah, the eccentric circle clicking art teacher. Yeah, I'm very worried about. I genuinely started thinking that maybe I should take out the face cam, because in my future I don't want my students to know about me as a streamer. But then I figured I don't think it matters too much. So yeah, I will keep the face cam. This is a very underwhelming question to end the podcast on, but I'm gonna ask it regardless. What editing program do you use to edit your videos?
Oh, I use Vegas Pro or Sony Vegas Pro. I'm not sure exactly
Up 5.
What it's called.
Let's go, dude. That's the best.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it's gotten better, but it's back in the day with my old, really bad computer. You had to save your project every like 10 seconds, because you never knew when it would crash on you.
Oh yeah, of course. I still do that out of habit and panic, but truthfully it doesn't really crash as much as it used to. And I mean, we also got better setups right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What version do you use?
I use it's 15. 15. Which one do you use?
I think I use 14. Let me check. Yeah, 14.
Same.
I never
I
really,
moved over.
I never really went beyond that. Maybe I should experiment with newer versions. I think nowadays there's like, what, 17?
There might be. I don't know why I moved on, because I was using 14 too, and then for some reason I moved on to 15. But it's literally, there's no difference that I could see between them.
Yeah, I mean, once you get used to Sony Vegas, truthfully, I can still use Sony Vegas 9 and do the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so obviously, as you know, this is going on YouTube, and on the closure, I usually just ask people to promote whatever they want, and in your case, it's gonna be easy because you just came back on YouTube. So I'm gonna leave all of your social links down there in the description. Maybe not really much Twitter because you don't really use it, but I'm gonna leave it regardless because people can follow up on your progress on the 365 challenge with coding. But yeah, you're free to promote anything you want and invite people to come over to your channel. AntoN, everyone.
Totally. Yeah. So like Spaza said, I'm getting back on YouTube with the live stream highlight videos. So if you used to enjoy them in the past, make sure to check them out now because they're coming back with the same quality as before. And definitely join the Discord and submit clips if you have them, not only from other like famous channels, but from your own too. If you have some clip that you want to share, it doesn't have to be something super special. You can just send it my way and I will take a look. And the worst thing that could happen is that it doesn't get put in the video, and I won't tell you that it's bad or anything. So do it.
See, now that's a perfect intro for all of your videos.
Yeah, maybe I should steal it from your podcast when it gets uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because I really want your community to rise up again. Because it was such a nice time when people sent you a lot of clips and they would watch your videos and they will get many views. Now, of course, it's not going to happen immediately. You have to focus on your job and all of that. But for now, you can tune in AntoN's channel for weekly highlight videos. Make sure to join his Discord. I will leave all links down there in the description. And AntoN, once again, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.